Welcome to Nestlé Next Level Digital, a podcast where Nestlé reimagines digital transformation to the next level as the world's largest food and beverage company, using the power of food innovation to enhance lives. If you're new here, we invite you to discover Nestlé through the lens of our leaders. Each episode presents valuable insights on our digital initiatives in driving growth and sustainability as we make an impact for everyone today and for generations to come.
Hi, Antonia. Welcome to the Next Level podcast. We're honored to have you here today.
Hi, Erin. Great to be with you here.
Great. So I'm Erin Gilgan. I'm the host of the podcast today. We'll learn more from Antonia on how Nestlé is working together with the food system and farmers to create better crops and food, but also while protecting and restoring the environment to create value for the planet, for consumers, and for the company. What was really great about working with you and your team is you have brought a lot of experience. You have 25 years with Nestlé, right now in sustainability, but before that in procurement, in sales, in sustainability, both at local, regional, and global levels. So can you talk a little bit more about your role with ESG at Nestlé today?
Right. So it is basically about making the good for the people, good for the planet a reality. So a reality today through our thousands of projects, which we have meanwhile in the company and with all our partners out there. But then also defining the strategy for tomorrow. So strategy, objectives, roadmaps, and getting this aligned within the company and also supported and driven within the company. And last but not least, also to support the storytelling. Yeah. How do we tell the story to the consumers, make it a great plus for our products?
Making it credible and relevant at the same time. Great. So Antonia, this is a massive job, both internally for the company, but it's also incredibly important for the external world as well. What motivated you to take this role?
Yeah, for me, it's I'm passionate about our products. I always come back to them, and they are the ones that brought me to the company originally. And I see such a fantastic opportunity to actually enrich our products and make a big plus for the people out there through all the sustainability activities we have. So, and this opportunity was quite tempting.
I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine. You see the impact that you have directly. So, Antonia, in this context, what are some of the initiatives that Nestlé has implemented to truly be a force for good?
Right. We have 4 big blocks. The one is everything to reduce our greenhouse gas footprint, so what we call climate. And this is the frame is our net zero roadmap,
yes,
where we want to be net zero by 2050, and then we have steps in between. Then the second one is packaging. So we have our packaging promises out there, and with the vision that none of our packaging should land in the environment. And then there is the third one, which is about water. So we have the Nestlé Water's Regeneration Pledge. And then last but not least, human rights. Yeah, human rights upstream, human rights, of course, inside the company. And here are, again, 2 big elements. It's the Nescafé plan and it's the Cocoa Income Accelerator.
Of course. So then when we have the climate, including the regenerative agriculture, the packaging and the water regeneration, yes. I imagine that the human rights weaves throughout all of those different topics.
Absolutely. That's a great point. They're actually, all of them, they are 4 blocks, but they are interconnected. Yeah. And only when all 4 work together, then we think we have achieved what we wanted to achieve.
How complex.
Yes.
And so because of this complexity, how do we drive this? How do we create the right culture and mindset to execute these 4 different topics in an interconnected way in the company?
The first thing is confidence, so instill confidence that we can do this. And people see, we know how to make it happen, and we actually do make it happen, so make this transparent, this confidence point, and then the inspiration. So share the great examples, share the great stories, not only outside, but also inside the company, of course. And then, it's reward those who are really doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, so you get some quick wins under your belt and
yes.
scale up quickly and share across the organization.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Great. Do you have some favorite projects that have been a good example of that?
I have so many, yes. But clearly the ones which are my favorite is when I see in the space of agriculture and when I see things are working not only for the planet, so we actually make it happen that less water is used and less other resources, but then when I see a happy farmer in front of me, the farmer says, yeah, with that, it works so much better. I have a better yield. I need less fertilizer, just to give an example. And sometimes the benefits are in areas where we wouldn't have thought they were, like instead of cooking with wood, which is putting a lot of smoke in my home, I now can cook with the gas, which actually has been produced by the cows.
Interesting.
So no smokes, I can have everything myself, and instead of the gas evaporating into the space, I can actually use it for cooking. So these are the nice discoveries that come with just go for it, getting started, and continue.
So I'm going to take a bit of a left turn on you. We're talking about farmers in the field and that kind of thing, but can you talk about the role of technology in all of this? How important that is to the work that we're doing and the success of driving this forward?
So there is I would say, agricultural technology, but then also technology in our factories. And there's one expression I'd like to bring, regeneration, which is our overall scheme. Regeneration means innovation. So there are so many powerful innovations today in the technical space, but then also when we look at IT, with AI, there are huge opportunities. We need a lot of data, and we need to prove everything we do. So in order to actually process these data, bring them to light, but also make them accurate, ensure actually that they are accurate, for that, AI is going to help so that we do not need to do everything on the ground. We can extrapolate, but then also for the reporting.
Yes.
Reporting is also ever increasing. The requirements are getting
Don't we
larger
know?
every day, right? So we're quite busy with that. And on the reporting, when it comes to like qualitative data points, certainly AI can help us to process better what we already have into some easy to understand.
Wonderful. So all the way out in the fields, we have the technology, the sensors to measure what we're doing, all the way through how do we bring it forward to truly measure what we're doing for transparency internally. Are we on track? But also so we can report to the external world, like regulators, investors, and our stakeholders.
Cool.
I have a big question for you. What are the future challenges that you see ESG facing, and how do we tackle them?
I think everything we do needs to be in a balance. Yes, it needs to be good for the planet, good for the people, good for the business. And this triangular, once we can tick all the boxes, then things are in a balance. When I'm just focusing on one, it's usually not working. So I think this is the must-win battle for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that regard, Nestlé is a big company. How do you navigate this and move the ship in the right direction in this kind of environment? How do you get it started and really get it going?
I think it all starts with a vision. So people have like, what is the North Star we want to get to? And for us, we formulated it quite some time ago as we have the good food, good life. This is our overall, this is what we're here for. Now, then we gave it a bit more precision, where we said we want to be able to advance regenerative food systems at scale. So a food system that is future-proof. That's what we're striving for. So this is the vision out there. And then something a bit boring. In a big company, it needs a plan. So you need to say, okay, guys, this is where we want to get to. Now, what are the projects behind? What's the plan to get there? But again, a plan is not something graved in stone. Then looking at the plan, having it, we start going and then we review. We make experience, this is working, this is not working, and then review the plan in a frequent manner. And also measure what we're doing.
Nestlé is a big company, but it is one company, and we can't do everything alone. So we do depend on partnerships to really have success and impact. Can you talk about some of the critical partnerships that we require?
Right. So I would say the first one is our partners along the value chain. Now that's again a bit abstract terminology, but basically it's we work with our suppliers together. This is absolutely key. Then also with our customers. So it's from here to here. And a farmer is also a supplier if you want. So everybody that's contributing to actually bring a product to life is a partner, and we need to do this all together. Now, sometimes it's also important to have specialists in certain technologies. And For that one, for example, we work with Airbus for the satellite monitoring. So we monitor through satellites that there's no deforestation.
From working all the way with farmers in the field to high-level technology, like you mentioned with Airbus, to monitor and make sure we're doing the right thing and doing it credibly all along the way.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And one thing that I've observed as well, Antonia, from being in your team when it started to today, which 3 years, I mean, it's grown quite quickly, is, having the plan internally in your team, but it's actually quite expanded now throughout, having arms throughout the company. So our strategic plan now has ownership in marketing, in sales, in IT.
Yes.
And that, to me, is quite an impressive plan.
Right. That's actually a very important point, which I had mentioned before. Thanks for bringing it up. It's what is fascinating. This is really cross-functional. So it means working on sustainability towards the vision. It means working with each and everyone inside the company. So it brings a lot of, I have contacts every hour with completely different people inside, outside. So it's working with people inside the company, with people outside, all types of. That is really fascinating, and it's also super important because we can only do this together, and only teamwork is dream work.
So here's the tricky question: is when it was more in our team when we were starting to scale up, how do you remain agile as you start to cascade it across the organization through these different arms, across marketing and sales and IT and the zones? How do you, the geographies, I guess I should say, how do you do that?
I think one headline which we all ended up defining for ourselves after a few months was like, we work like a startup. Yeah, so we move. We try, and then we see what's working, what's not working, and then but leave ourselves and the company actually the space to review, to twist a bit here. Never forget the vision. The vision is graved in stone, yeah. But then the path to get to that vision, these paths can change even throughout the year, and we need to leave us the ability to change course without changing direction.
Very good. Okay. And then one other question for you is, what advice would you have for younger people who are trying to, start their careers off but want a career in sustainability, in environment, in the broader ESG forum? What's your advice for them?
Right. So the ideal combination is to have the necessary technical skills, which is sometimes a bit surprising. People usually start with the passion. Yes, the passion is important, but it also needs technical skills. Certainly in a company like ours, where we work with ingredients on the field, with farmers. So some agriculture knowledge for that part is quite important. But then when it comes to technology, also in our factories, I mean, you need to understand how the machines are running, but then there come things like greenhouse gas accounting. And also for the human rights part, that doesn't sound very technical, but also here it's great to be able to understand where are the usual risks, what are ways to mitigate them, etc. So some good education in that sense is great. And that combined with the willingness to really work intensively together with other people, that and leadership. Leadership is very important, the usual leadership skills, yeah. And then the passion, I would say it's great to have a combination of passion for, yes, sustainability. So it is good for planet, good for people, but also good for business.
Yes.
And good for the products, and be passionate about, yes, I want to make something which is a plus for the people out there, for the people who are ultimately eating or drinking our products.
What a big job, Antonia. But I think you have a full force behind you of all the different people that we talked about. So thank you for sharing your insights with us today. I think we've shared a lot. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Erin. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, sign up to our Telenetwork to stay connected. Your feedback matters to us. Let us know what you think via our survey. Check out our links in the description.